it is time to put myself out there and critique my deadlift form. So, a couple of things I want to get out of the way. This is not a form advice video. This is not a how to deadlift video. And this is definitely not a, hey, my form's awesome, you guys should do it this way video. Okay? Don't think of it that way. I'm very rusty. This is my second time deadlifting since October. So I had surgery in November, deadlifted in October, didn't deadlift till 2 weeks ago, so I'm out of practice. Remember that. I just started 531, so part of this footage you're going to see was just me trying to do 315 for a form video, and then I'm going to put a heavy pull in there, which is a actual single after the 1+. So I was fatigued, and again, I'm out of practice. Now, I want to talk about a couple of things on my deadlift form, and we'll just get them out of the way before the video starts so that you guys know why my form is going to look different, and you probably shouldn't follow it. So, point number one, my arms, very short. Very, very, very short. Distance between my bone and my elbow is so short that my chiropractors mentioned it, my doctors mentioned it, Glenn makes fun of me all the time. My family home makes fun of me all the time. I am the T-Rex. I actually made some comics about it. T-Rex lifting. So my wife is a couple inches shorter than me. Her forearms are longer than mine. Glenn is about 1.5 inches taller than me. His forearm's 2 inches taller than me. And then from shoulder to elbow, I lose about 1 inch there. So what does that mean? Well, that means that I have a hard time reaching the bar, and my range of motion is a lot longer. So you guys who, you deadlift and you lock out like at your knees or mid-thigh or lower than that, I'm jealous of you guys. That's awesome. I wish I had long arms. I even failed the strongman competition because I couldn't reach from one side of the water barrel to the other, okay? My arms are short and it's a problem. But that makes the deadlift a lot harder. And it goes into point number two, being that I have a big belly. Yeah, I know, it's a problem. And you may not think it's a problem, but let me talk to you why it is. The first thing is, when you are trying to deadlift, leverages are going to be a big part of the deadlift. You want to make your leverages as good as possible. So long arms, and for you want your arms to be as long as possible, which means you want your arms to be straight, right? Well, with the belly, you can't bring your legs in on a conventional stance so that your arms hang neutral, because if you do that, your belly hits the top of your thighs. Now, why is that bad? Number one, you can't breathe, and number two, which is the bigger problem, is your thighs push into your belly, which pushes into your back and makes you deadlift with a rounded lower back. As we all know, you don't want to do that. So if you watch a video of my deadlifting from 2012 and 2013, you will see me deadlifting with a rounded lower back because I did not know any better. And I just thought you wanted to be in that good position. So I made my arms neutral and hanging straight down, and I got my legs in there as close as I could get them, and it caused a rounded lower back. So I've actually had to teach myself how to deadlift 3 times. I've changed my stance 3 times, and every time I've changed my stance, I started back at 135. So first thing I had to do is I had to widen my stance to allow my belly to go in there. Now what that did for my arms is I had to widen my grip. So my arms don't hang straight down like you would want them, so they're as long as possible. No, I took my short arms and I put them out here, okay? That did not help. It made it harder. It made it significantly harder, and my lockout is almost to my hips, to the point like, guys, if you've never had this, I hope you never have to go through it. But the knurling in the middle is sharp, and I hit myself in my giblets, and it does not feel good, and it's scratchy. So that's a problem. Like, that's how high I have to deadlift, and it sucks. The third problem for me, which is a big one, and it factors into the first two in a negative way, is my hamstrings are very short, to the point that I went to a doctor and asked them to help me out on it, and they told me that there was nothing they could do. So there's 3 different types of people with tight hamstrings. So the first one is where their brain thinks that they can't do it. So if somebody else stretches them, it goes further than they can do it. And if you stretch it, it'll get better. The second one is if you get knocked out, so you lose consciousness, they can stretch you out. And again, stretching will help you get better in that situation. And the third one is you just have bad genetics and your hamstrings are too short. So it doesn't matter if you stretch them or if they knock you out, your hamstrings suck. That's the type of hamstrings I have. So yes, I still try and stretch and get as much flexibility as I can, but I'm pretty much at the limit. I'm never going to be able to touch my toes. Again, short arms plus tight hamstrings equals no bending over and touching the floor, toes, ankles, lower shins. Like, I'm happy if I can touch the middle of my shins. That's how bad it is. So when you go into deadlift form and you have those things, I have to sink my hips really low. That doesn't mean that that's a good thing. That doesn't mean that's a bad thing. That's just what I have to do. I have to round my upper back a lot just to be able to reach the bar. I am physically incapable of actually touching the bar with a perfectly neutral spine. Meaning, if you were to take a bar, any of you guys who watched Elliot Hulse back in the day might have seen this. He had a 3-point deadlift form where he would take a stick and it would touch the back of your head, your upper back, so in between your shoulder blades, and the bottom of your lower back where the hips connect to it. And you had to maintain contact in those 3 points of the bar on the way down and on the way up. I physically can't reach the bar. I end up being about that far away. So I wanted to put this video so you guys can see what I like, what I don't like, and just a couple of things that I struggle with on the deadlift and why my form is going to look a little bit different than yours. So hopefully you can see that. And if you guys notice anything else that I've missed and you see it, please let me know. Because as I said, form is something I'm always trying to work on. I always want to improve form. You know, I think that's something everybody could work on, and we can help each other, right, guys? So without any more delay, because I am at 7 minutes and 20 seconds, and I'm still talking about the time, so you have to watch it. What do you do? Yeah, okay. Let's go. Going through from start to finish, the first thing I do is bend over, grab the bar, and take a big belly full of air and push out, and I pull the slack out of the bar. So this is my starting position where the slack's out of the bar. I've tightened up as much as I can, and you'll notice my back overall is fairly neutral. I've got the rounded upper back, which is okay. So the green is kind of inside of me, and red, anything on the outside of that would be bad. That's my lower back position. So fairly neutral, not perfect. That right there is my love handles, which just causes some optical illusion. My bar is over midfoot, and that's kind of my arm position. So I'm a little bit further behind the bar, and you can see the pull. My bar path, it comes into myself a little bit until the end where I drive my hips through. So right there, I'm driving a little bit too far, pushing the bar away from myself. Here's full speed. So again, you see that, which is causing some soft knees, which is bad. So now I want you to hear the slack come out of the bar when I go slow motion here. So you can hear that. My lats are tightening, I'm locking in, and then I start pulling, my arms are straight, and then I lock it, and again right there you see that soft knee, so that I need to get fixed before I go into any sort of powerlifting competition. But you know, I'm not too worried about that. I'm not hyper-extending. That's what it looks like, and I just did a second rep. Here it is in full speed. You can see it looks the same. But let's go into some heavier weight so you can see where my technique starts to break down. So this is a heavy single. You'll notice I push the bar away from myself, and I'm just more comfortable doing that. Here's my startup position. So I'm a little bit lower. My back is still fairly neutral. It's kind of hard to see there. You can notice I do have the belt on, so I'm pretty happy with that. But what happens is my hips start to shoot up a little bit faster than they should, and then I kind of pull it away from myself over my knees. I'm not pushing it through as hard on that because I really focused on it. I don't know if that technique was due to starting differently with the pull or just fatigue, because this is a heavy single after doing my 1+ set on a 5-3-1 day. So again, there it is in full speed. So there's some issues that I need to work on there. It's a little bit slower than I would like. And as I said there, it's a little bit slower than I'd like. So a lot of that, again, has to do with the setup position. You can see there, it looks like I have a more rounded upper back on the heavier pull on the right-hand side. The lower back is a little bit more round than I would like. However, it's still neutral. And my hips are a little bit closer to the bar. So that is causing me to not be as good of a starting position. And that's causing a little bit of difficulty in the pull. Now, I am out of practice on this, so I'm hoping that that won't continue. But we'll see what it looks like next week.